Hi, everyone. Welcome. It's Shelley, and this is episode 37 of SNOWED, the Michael Snow is a fraud story. So I read you some letters in the last episode, and I'm going to read you some more letters because there's some more really good stuff in there. But for right now, I was able to bring on a guest. So I want to introduce to you Denise.
Hi, everyone. I'm Denise. I am not Cindy. I am Denise.
So Denise, if you remember, is the Yaris car financer. And when did you meet Mr. Snow?
So I started talking to Mike in October of 2021 on Facebook dating as Mike Logan.
And how did he present himself?
He was single. He was charismatic. He was charming. There was no last kiss, first whatever that shit is that you guys all got. He later on, just talking, he was a pilot for Stars. He was in the military. He was a single dad to 2 kids, a girl and a boy.
But here's the funny part. She actually knew that I existed.
I knew he was a single man and he hadn't been with his current ex-girlfriend for a couple of years. So Michael and I had been chatting for a few weeks, and he was just coming home on vacation, and then he had to go back to work. We worked the same shift, so it was kind of easy that when I drive to work at 5 o'clock in the morning, he was driving from Regina or from Moose Jaw to Regina. So I would text him when I got to work, "How you doing? Good morning," and he would always answer me back.
But the funny thing was, he actually wasn't driving to work because he didn't fly for Star's helicopter. He was laying in bed beside me.
But I didn't know that. So we had a meet and greet. He came to my house, short, sweet, and then he was off because he had to go pick up Ruckus because he couldn't leave Ruckus alone at the babysitter's, I guess it was.
Which was probably me.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. He kept bringing up Jared at the time, and I didn't know who Jared was until a lot longer, until I found out who Jared was.
And that's my son.
So November, the middle of November, we took a trip to Medicine Hat to the Range Rover house, lady's house. He had to pick up some stuff in the garage, pick up tarp, stuff like that, because he had sold the house to her, and all he wanted, and he was waiting for the down payment back that she was to owe him. I met him, so I'm going to hop, skip, and jump back first. I met him at the shop here in Moose Jaw, and I asked him, I'm like, so Mike, are you going to tell me who you really are? And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, at home, my son has a friend with the last name Snow. And just out of the blue, I asked my son how he was, and he goes, why are you asking? I'm like, I don't know, this name just came upon me. So I Googled and Facebooked this friend of my son's, and lo and behold, Michael Snow came aboard. And I'm like, what the boop? He's standing in front of the helicopter, and I'm like, all right, are you Michael Logan or are you Michael Snow? So when I got to the shop, I asked him, who the crap are you? I'm like, are you going to tell me your real name? Oh, I'm Michael Logan. And I said, let's start over. My name's Denise, and you are Michael Snow. So driving up to Medicine Hat, he talks about himself all the time. He told me how he got blown up in the helicopter, shrapnel going up there, shrapnel going up the wahoo, like blown his thumb off. He was just all about himself. And then out of the blue, he says, so do you have your PAL license or your hunting license? And I'm like, no. And he goes, I think it would be a very good idea if you got it, because then when we get married, in case something happens to me, you can sell the GUNS. And I'm like, married? And he's like, well, we don't have to get married if you don't want to.
This is how he plays women. He really starts off really quickly, doesn't he?
It was, and I didn't it really didn't faze me. Guys don't talk about that. He's just bullshitting out of his face. So, and then I said, I can think about getting it. which actually I did have an appointment to go get it. But after that, he decided to take the $250 and spend it. So he needed the money more, which, yep, I was stupid. I gave him a lot of money. So I had some criteria before I was starting to date. The one couple things is no gamblers. You have to have a job. You have to have a license. You have to have your own money, because I wasn't wanting to take care of another person. I just did that, got myself out of, pretty much financially debt that I was before. And no drinking, you can have a social drink, but not an alcoholic. He said, oh, you don't have to worry about that. I got my own money and I take care of myself. And I don't really drink that much.
I hardly drink.
Oh my gosh. Let me tell you, that's bad. Real bad. So Medicine Hat came and went, got together. I've only actually seen him once. He was just in and out. It was always an excuse. He had to go home and get the dog. Always had to go home and get the dog.
So explain why you went to Medicine Hat with him.
So, like I said, he had to pick up some stuff from Range Rover's house. Range Rover, I'm not too sure the whole story. I just know that they lived together and he bought this house and he moved out. Not sure that's when he met Shelley. He's kind of all over the map when he comes to...
I don't think it was his house. He didn't have any share in it, just like he didn't with me either.
Yeah, I don't think so, because he said he was waiting for the down payment, because she was going to give him the down payment if he gave her the house, which, yeah.
He's all talk.
So we talk every day. The one thing he likes to say is, please don't ghost me. And I don't like the ghosting either, so I made a point of every day we would talk. And we did, up until, when he really ticked me off August. We talked every day. Didn't matter where he was, what he was doing, we talked every day. Other than the Rogers outing, or the power outage, we didn't talk. He kept talking about money. He would ask me how my credit was. I'm like, oh no, what's he, if he finds out I have bad credit, am I going to be turfed? Those things weighed heavily on my mind, because it's I'm not perfect credit, but never thought anything of it afterwards, until starting the middle of November, he started asking or telling me his house is going into foreclosure. I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah. So I'm like, your house, and I didn't know where he lived in Moose Jaw or anything. I hadn't been there. I was never invited. Until I seen a photograph of the house in one of his pictures online, and then I started Googling addresses, and oh, lo and behold. So then I just kind of drove by here one day and never seen Shelley, but just wanted to make sure that the house was real. Anyways, he asked if I had any money, if I could borrow him money. And I'm like, well, no, I don't. And he goes, I'm going to lose my house. I felt really bad for him, because I don't want anybody to be homeless.
But what did he also tell you? Why it was going into foreclosure? He had all these businesses and rental properties that he was so kind to during COVID.
Yes. He said that during COVID, he has 2 rental properties out in Ontario. And I found that out afterwards. And because the renters weren't paying for the mortgage out there, he was paying for the mortgage there, and so he couldn't afford to pay the mortgage here. So that was 3 mortgages. I did feel bad. I know I am a landlord. I do have a place for rent as well. So, we kind of adjusted. So I got it. I just happened to be in Moose Jaw November 30th, sitting at the hospital actually because I broke my finger, and texting back and forth, and he goes, do you think you can get me a loan? And I'm like, get you a loan? He goes, yeah, I'll pay it back December 15th. I'm like, he goes, go to Easy Financial. He has this all planned out, which loan companies to go to, how to get it. And he was adamant that he have cash.
Stay tuned for 38, where we will hear a little bit more.